Here, for the first time in 25 years, the U.S. decided not to vote on a resolution calling for an end to the U.S. embargo on Cuba.
But this year, under a new administration, the U.S. voted against it. Our Hatzovella joining us live now from Havana with more on today's vote and Cuba's reaction. Hatzel.
Calvin, Lori, that vote tally that we saw this afternoon out of New York City is not surprising. What is surprising is what we saw here in Havana, and that is the fact that two American companies this afternoon signed agreements with the Cuban government.
We vote no and strongly oppose this resolution.
We knew it was coming. The United States, as it announced Tuesday, voted against the non-binding resolution that calls for the end of the U.S. embargo on Cuba. The resolution, which goes back to 1991, this time was supported by 191 countries. The U.S. and Israel voted no. The U.S. called today's vote political theater.
As long as the Cuban people continue to be deprived of their human rights and fundamental freedoms, as long as the proceeds from trade with Cuba go to prop up the dictatorial regime responsible for denying those rights, the United States does not fear isolation in this chamber or anywhere else.
This is the 25th time the U.S. votes no. Last year was the only time the United States abstained under a Barack Obama administration.
Today, I say that Cuba will never agree to conditions or anything being imposed at this order. And we remind the President and his ambassador that this focus, which was implemented by 10 or so of his predecessors, has never worked.
Meanwhile, here in Havana, another deal between Cuba and two American companies. One agreement allows for the second exportation and sales of artisanal charcoal that soon may end up in your local supermarket.
This is exactly the kind of thing that we want to see happening. We think trade benefits everyone.
Local 10 News also talked to the Puerto Rican company, who is the official Caterpillar dealer in the Caribbean. The Cuban government just approved a deal that allows the family-owned company to open a Caterpillar dealer, a private one, at Mariel's port here in Cuba.
So we were looking for other markets to expand our business, and Cuba has a lot of potential.
Let's remind our viewers that the embargo has been in place for several decades now, and the only body that can lift it is Congress. Lori, Calvin, back to you.